Welcome back to Inside the Case. Today we got a little bit of a treat. We're working on an engine. It's a 1981 350 Chevy, and I ran the numbers, so I know that it's an 81 350. I got this motor from Brother Sam over at Sam's Wrecking Yard. He makes awesome automotive content working on his projects, and he doesn't get as much love as he deserves, so go ahead and check him out. He gave me this engine to tear down for the video today. This number here is our casting number, this is our date, and this is our VIN. It's like a more precise date. So I'll go over this first. So I believe this says B81. It could say D81, but essentially this letter corresponds to the month it was cast in. So B would be February, D would be April. So A is January, B is February, and so on. So I believe this is a B81. So that means this block was cast in February of 1981. Then if we come over here to this front number here, this top one, we see V0507D5A. So V means that this was made in the Flint, Michigan plant. 0507 means that this was the final assembly of this engine was done the 7th of May. So 05, the 5th month, 07, the 7th day. This engine was assembled in Flint, Michigan on May 7th, 1981. But the story is that this was pulled, an older gentleman pulled this out of a half-ton pickup, gave it to Sam through their various dealings, and Sam kept it for a while until he realized, hey, I don't really have a project to put this in, so we'll give it to Brother Curtis to tear down. So this has been sitting out for a while. It's my understanding the older gentleman that pulled this had it sitting for 15 years and then gave it to Sam. What I've done is I've gone ahead and I've soaked a bunch of the bolts that I can see and our spark plugs. Now the engine is locked up. I tried to get a bar on there earlier and couldn't spin anything. So let's start by trying to pull our spark plug. I mean, you can see quite a few of them are broken. They've been tossed around. This engine's been hit a few times. I've rolled around. Oh wow, that came out beautifully. That came out beautifully. And honestly, aside from being old, the spark plug doesn't look that bad. Well, being old and being in half, but does this one come out? Heck yeah, it does. Okay, that gives me a little bit of hope here. I'm excited to see if this motor still has oil in it. Now, I did soak the spark plugs too, so that could be it. Oh, look at that. That's why it's locked up. It's full of water. All right, let's see what we got here. Oh yeah, there's a rusty plug. Oh, only one cylinder full of water. Okay, well, I'm not gonna lie. I found that really cool. That one cylinder was full of water. I don't know why, I just did. So I guess the next logical thing to do would be to pull our valve covers and see what under here looks like. So I don't know 100% for sure, because I never tried any of these bolts without putting WD-40 on them. But I think that might have saved us, because if there's water in the cylinders, then there's a good chance these bolts were pretty tight too, being seized up. There's a damage to our valve cover, so I'm hoping there's some rust under here. Oh wow. Okay, I was hoping for the video this would be full of rust, but I'm a little disappointed. So looks like someone's been in here. Oh. Oh. Whoever can tell me what this is gets some serious brownie points. Both these valve covers are pretty dented up. Now that could have just been from the ride over or getting moved around in the yard. Like, it's probably what it's from. Okay, so let's take a good look in here and we find there's no nasties. Again, I'm surprised by how little rust is underneath these valve covers. But let's get moving forward. There's no distributor, that was already pulled off. Running our numbers off the back, we can find out that this came with a 4-barrel Rochester and was rated for around 190 horsepower. So let's work on pulling our intake off. I soaked the intake bolts as well. The first thing I'm going to do is just see if these ones even move. Oh, like nothing. You know, that's really giving me high hope. This motor is supposed to have sat for years, so I mean, the fact a little bit of penetrating fluid is doing this is really just awesome. I thought for a minute I wasn't going to be as lucky on this one. So as the most of you know, kind of just forgot to even mention it because these things are so popular. Everyone knows Chevy made these for a long time. Everyone knows Chevy put them in anything. But if you didn't, well, now you know. Chevy made these for a long time. And they were used all the way up until they were turned into the Vortex series of engines in 1995 to 96. And they were used all the way up until, I believe on the cab chassis, you could get them all the way up till about 2002. But in the pickup trucks and whatnot, it stopped in 98. When the GMT 800 trucks came out. So I'm obviously missing a few bolts here. I'm assuming there was a lifting eye there and they wanted it for something else. Wow, this is, honestly, it's kind of making me a little worried how nicely this is coming apart. It's like, what's gonna go wrong? Let your project soak a bit. You're not gonna hurt anything, apparently. So this is, of course, our EGR valve, which again is usually seized in here. Wow, the way it's coming apart, it's actually kind of undermining the whole story of this thing. This is supposed to be an engine that's fighting and, you know, a grizzly old worn engine. This was just squished in, so I'm just trying to pull it back a little bit. Just like that. There might be hope for this whole engine yet. I got the wrench out for the ones that were hard to do, and then I ended up doing all of them with the wrench. I don't know what that means. Let's get a pry bar and see how much force it takes to get our intake off. Let's get a little chisel in there and just carefully pick away at that. Okay, here's our intake. Nice good old cast iron guy. Oh, that's lovely. I don't know if that's a rag or a wasp's nest. It's the most dangerous creature in the world. I'm gonna poke it with a stick. Yeah, I believe that's a rag. So who knows how long that's been down there. This motor was definitely into. They used silicone everywhere to seal it up. So hasn't been sitting for too long. Well, it's been sitting, but somebody tried to give it love at some point in time. And here we can see that that's where our water got into our head. So yeah, let's pull our rockers and our push rods off. Okay. Kind of interesting is how small the hole is there for that push rod. You can see each one is marked with a light bit of wear. It doesn't really mean anything, it's just curious to me, or it's just interesting to me. That was persistent. I guess we'll get the heads off now. If I'm not mistaken, this is also a 5/8. No, I'm not going to use this gun. I should probably go around and break them all loose by hand. I'd hate for one of these to be seized in there. You know, I'm pretty confident there's no coolant in this block because there's a plug missing. Where did I see it? Right here. And yeah. I just can't imagine it having coolant being in it still. I don't even know if there's oil in it. We'll find out when we go to the bottom end. Oh man. Okay, might as well come over here and do the same. You know what? Before I get too crazy here, let's get the pan underneath of it. Okay, now let's get a little crazy with this guy. Oh boy. Ew. Oh, we found it. That's what it was. It was part of our keeper. Broke off. Interesting. I've never seen that before. We can see rust throughout there now that it's off. We can, obviously the opposite side of this cylinder had a bunch of rust in it too. Oh, there's some more water. Yeah, let's get our other head off here. Lean your belly into it. And then just pry up. There we go. Ew, that's nasty. Okay, well, I'm willing to bet this cylinder here and these cylinders here are the reason it's no good. Those guys have to be the reason it's locked up. Just get our lifters out here. Oh man, the smudge inside this motor. Oh, neat. The distributor drive rod's still down in there. That's cool. All right, well, let's carry on. Let's get this pulley and balancer off. Let's work on getting our puller set up for that. Hey, there's our harmonic balancer off. Put our puller away and clean up a little bit here. All right, but with that being done, let's do the timing cover. Let's see if it'll come off for us. Yeah, kind of what I figured. We'd have to take the oil pan off first. Oh, look at that. We can rip out the seal. Good thing I saw that when I did. Do you guys see how this is sloppy? That is not supposed to have that much wiggle room. So in case you didn't know, your timing chain is what connects your crankshaft to your camshaft. So this isn't supposed to be loose like that. We will take one of them bolts and we'll throw it in here. And that lifter is going to be problematic. So how can we get that lifter out? Let's see if the tapping with the cam loosened it up at all. Oh, well, that solves that, doesn't it? Well, there goes our last lifter. Oh, surprise, our crankshaft comes out now. There we are. Let's play a little game. Does the motor have oil in it? And here we go. Oh yeah, good call. I think the oil was likely drained out of this before the guy pulled it, and then this is all just water that's gotten in. We're going to try and get these pistons out, but I'm not sure if they're going to. This block unfortunately might. We're going to try and save it, but it might be a throwaway. Let's spin our motor over. This is a pretty clean engine teardown. Let's take our oil pan off. Our oil pan even wants to come off. Okay, definitely some water in there. So, it's a 2-bolt main block. See if we can get this oil filter off by hand. Oh yeah, light work. I'm thinking the logical course of action at this point is to pull out the pistons that look like they want to come out. Maybe just go right to pulling the crank. So what I've done, I flipped it back over because I've added a couple studs into the crankshaft so that I can get a pry bar in there and just kind of wiggle it. And I was able to wiggle it back and forth just a tiny bit. So this block is going to need work to come back around. So I'm not too scared to throw the wire wheel in here and try and clean up as much of these cylinders as I can. And then after that, we're going to spray it down with WD-40 and see if we can't get everything moving just a little bit more. And then ideally, we end up with a rotating assembly not in the block. There's still some stuff down in there, but at least now the rings aren't scraping the entire wall of the cylinder when they come up. I just can't quite get down in there, and we don't even know if these rings are going to move at all, so let's give that a quick wipe in there. I'm just going to try some WD-40 in here. I'm not sure what's better, putting it in through this side or putting it in through the other side, but we'll see. Now it's going to be a little difficult because of where those dowels are now positioned here. But I'm thinking we just try to wiggle everything back and forth just a little bit. Oh, there we go. Okay. So we got some movement in it. I'm just going to keep working that back and forth now, I think. Try to work the WD down in there. You know, maybe this block could be saved. As I'm looking down in there doesn't look to be a whole lot of pitting. Like, you'd still want to clean it up at a machine shop, but yeah, we're working it back and forth. We're getting a little bit more every time we do. I'm going to grab a little bit of a shorter bar. I feel like at this point, the big bar is just kind of redundant. Hey, well, because of where those studs are, we're not going to get much more movement because we're going to hit the stand. Get a shot of those cylinders moving. Well, I would go on a limb. I know I haven't done a complete rotation, but I would go on a limb and say we've got it freed up. Just a little bit of binding in there, but it's not too bad. I'm going to wipe a little bit of the excess here. I think we're going to spin it back around. I think we'll give this guy a spray. Okay, so while that's sitting, we can work on getting our oil pump off. That's just one bolt here. Okay, with our oil pump and pickup off, the next logical step would be to try and get these pistons out. I think in this case we're going to pull the crank first. So right away we can see a bunch of wear right in that bearing and one greasy piston. Alrighty, well let's move on to the next one here. This is going really well so far. I thought we were going to have to fight with that a lot more. So we're going to get our crankshaft out now. 5/8. It's a lot lighter than our diesels that we do. Alright everybody. Well, I'm going to be honest. Now that we've, thrown the pistons through, this block doesn't look that bad. Well, alright, let's spin this back over and get a good look at the top side of our bores. Okay, there's some pitting in that one. Okay everybody, well there's the carnage from our 350. I hope you enjoyed this one. Stay tuned, we're going to do some cleaning. I want to clean these heads up, and I'd love to take you along with me and see just how much nasties we can get off, and we can see if those are reusable. But if you enjoyed this type of content, definitely stick around and give us a like and a subscribe. It helps the channel grow. We post pretty regularly. Once again, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.